After two brilliant performances against the Boston Celtics and the Sacramento Kings, the Utah Jazz remind us how small their margin of error is, and they allowed it to get them tonight in a loss to the Blazers. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz fall to the Portland Trailblazers. It is POSTCAST. The Blazers had lost 6 straight. The Jazz had won 2 big ones in a row. And your thought coming in is, well, maybe Portland doesn't want to win anymore. Players always want to win. People never seem to remember that. And the Jazz should get them without Jeremy Grant, without Anthony Simons. They lost 6 in a row. But the Jazz didn't have the juice tonight. And maybe not that surprising. I think we're surprised by it. But with now, after seeing it, like, well, why? Well, for the Jazz to win basketball games right now, with the roster that they have, takes an incredible effort. A marvelous performance. Multiple people. Amazing levels of juice. And I think they just were on empty. And we saw it early. They jumped out. But they fell fairly quickly in this one. And, did not ever. They got it high. They were down by 15. They got it tied at like 94 and then fell right back behind, down by 11. So really surprising.
Very surprising considering the way they had played the previous 2 ball games, giving themselves a chance to win in this basketball game. And I thought in the third quarter maybe they had found some juice and an effort in order to weather the storm and end up winning the basketball game. But after I think it was Dunn that missed the free throw that could have put them ahead, and then all of a sudden they never threatened again.
Jazz. So if we go back to the first quarter, Jazz outscored the Blazers 34-29. So it's kind of a funny thing. Oh, well, they didn't have any energy. They came out. They were okay. They hit a lot of shots early. In fact, I even said to you at the end of the first quarter round, I said, ooh, we should be ahead by a lot more. Mm-hmm. We were 6 of 11, 6 of 12 from 3 on hitting 12 of our 21 shots as threes. We had done a lot of things right. And I was like, oh, we're only up by 5. And then the second quarter, they really blitzed the Jazz. 39 points. They ended up scoring 68 points in the first half of the game, and they lead it 39-22. Or the Blazers went, and that's when the zone defense began to fall apart. What did they do against the Jazz zone? They looked well prepared for it tonight.
Well, they were well prepared because they were able to, we'll just say what the Kings did. Start dribbling the basketball into the paint and making Marketing and Kelly Olynyk and even Kessler stay pretty close to the basket. Now they're kicking it out and getting those type of shots that they wanted. So it's the defense just wasn't as strong as it was in those other 2 ball games. And I think, David, you expect that though. You have 2 wonderful basketball games with a defense that you had put in. And then so the Portland Trailblazers just came in prepared for it. So it wasn't like the offense wasn't clicking. I mean, the first quarter and the first half anyway, they end up scoring 56 points, which is respectable. But defense just wasn't there.
124 offensive rating for Portland in the first half tonight, which is super high. What did they do to that zone? How were they prepared? What did they do?
Well, a 1-3-1, and once you make a pass to the wing, so the Jazz were using the middle guy to come out and double, and they were trying to double Leonard. So that means that the middle is open. So they slash a guy in the middle from the weak side, bam, get him the basketball. Now he has options, which is the smart way to do it, especially the way the Jazz were using, Kessler, that he's not protecting the rim and can't get there as well. So, it's a smart play. And then you had Lillard, on time to time breaking the defense down. Then you have guys that Sharp, who's starting to knock down some threes in that ball game. Let me see. Well, Lillard was still Sharp. Yeah, he was 4 for 7. He was
that's
the one
big
that,
for him.
Right,
I mean,
right.
That's not usually a number that he goes and gets. And that was the Jazz game plan a little bit, Ron, was this idea that they were, Alex Jensen said to us, let's make other guys, Nurkic, make decisions, make other guys make plays. And they did it, and they answered the bell on that. And Dame played along. Dame was a willing passer early in the game, had 12 assists tonight.
Yeah, and you can see that they most part, David, look at the starters. The starters played over 31, 32, 34, 30. They played a lot of minutes tonight. And even the Jazz starters played a lot of minutes tonight there as well. So, but the starters, the players for the for the Trailblazers probably more talented than what the Jazz are able to put out there on the floor.
Lauri Markkanen tonight was brilliant. He had 40 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. I think the most concerning thing is that he was throughout the night dealing with something on his left wrist that was causing him problems.
Yeah, and hopefully it's something that he can live with and play with, because that wrist is not going to heal that fast. What do we have, 10 ball games left?
Yeah.
And maybe it's something he can play through and still, be at the top of his game with. But, anytime you have a wrist injury, playing golf sometimes you get those wrist injuries, and they're the whole golf season. So, and with him falling on it, and, there are many other times that he might fall on it during the course of for the rest of the year.
It's one of those things that once you have it, it's like that splinter you have on it, like you just suddenly hit it everywhere, right? Like he did seem to fall on it 3 or 4 different times tonight. He was brilliant, though. 40 points, third time this year he's had 40.
Yeah, 23 shots. You love
That's
to see
so
guys
crazy.
when they only take 23 shots in a ball game and score that many points.
I mean, that's really where he is so special, and a lot of the reason why we're so much better than anyone realized is that efficiency.
Yeah.
When you get 40 points out of 23 shots, you're going to be in almost every game just by that advantage alone.
Exactly, and that's what's, you see a guy that not just a jump shooter anymore. Now he's getting to the point where he's driving to the basket, and a couple of his buckets that I thought he was strapped down there, and he just rises up and just shoots a little floater right over the fingertips of players. And he's really, really, I don't know if he watches film, watching himself, but he has gotten so much better in so many different areas all season long, and that's probably the reason that 23 shots and getting 40 points is remarkable.
Well, the Jazz did not get a lot else. Kelly Olynyk ends up with a double-double, but he didn't get going till late. Walker was feckless tonight. Ochai Agbaji really didn't have much of an impact on tonight's game. I mean, when you collectively have that many guys that are just off, Talen Horton-Tucker was off, I do think it stems to the effort you're asking out of these guys on each night right now to be able to win a basketball game is so high that at some point you're coming up empty on that. And tonight was the night you're coming up empty.
Coming up empty, the Jazz only attempted 82 shots. They've been averaging about 85, 86. Portland Trailblazers get up 93 shots, and they go to the free throw line 30 times. Now, the Jazz went to the free throw line 36 times, which is quite a bit. But the Blazers getting up 93 shots, that's a lot.
So the Jazz fall tonight. The final score in this one is 127-115. The interesting thing will be how much zone we see. They played 30 possessions zone against Miami. They played 50 in Sacramento. If you actually looked at the final numbers against Sacramento, it wasn't that effective, actually. There was about a 1.12 points per possession in the zone against Sacramento in the half court, which is not great. It's pretty good against the Sacramento Kings, who are so good in half court. I'm going to guess it was worse than that tonight, and it'll be interesting to see. I suspect we'll keep seeing the zone because so much of the things we're doing as a franchise right now are about trying to figure things out for the future and use these as important data cases to strengthen what we're doing in the future in the zone, learning the zone and tweaking the zone and fixing the zone. I think, Ochai Agbaji talked to us in the media that they're tweaking little things to try to, figure out where the gaps are. Well, there were a lot of gaps tonight.
Yeah. There's a few ways to play that 1-3-1, and I think we've had some conversations with Holly. She knows basketball, and
well, she sees a lot of zone because she has to watch a lot of college, and
exactly.
I mean, has to.
And we were discussing with her that back when we played and played a lot of zone, we didn't have a big man around at the basket. That trailer guy was usually someone quick enough that where he can get across the lane and that kind of stuff. But they'd have the bigger guys out front with the wingspans that keep it from just slicing and dicing, as your boy Walt Frazier would say, pushing in, getting passes there in the paint. Whereas the Jazz were using a bigger guy, and sometimes that rotation is a little slower getting out there. So there's a few ways to do it. I'm sure the Jazz are experimenting with it, and hopefully, they can get better at it.
So we have 2 stars to give tonight. We're going to give an unusual star. Ron doesn't know this yet. I'm going to catch him off guard here. So one of our stars is Lauri Markkanen.
Yes.
Our other star tonight is something we meant to get to in the broadcast, but we did not get to. I don't know why. I think the game just slipped away at the end. Willis Reed, Ron, passed away. Can you take a moment? You knew Willis and what he meant to the league and who he was as a person.
Knew Willis very, very well. Played against him, while he was playing for the New York Knicks. Country boys, he used to say, out of Louisiana. And just a soft-spoken, very smart guy. Was the general manager of the New Jersey Nets at one time. Knew him and his wife, as a matter of fact, when he coached the Creighton Blue Jays. He called me up and wanted me to work with his guards, so I went up and worked with his guards up there at the University of Creighton for a little bit. Really got to know him very, very well, and I tell you what, he was probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He said, "I'm just a country boy. I'm just a country boy." He say that quite a bit, but he will be missed, I think, in the NBA.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. You have such great insight and know all these guys, and it's a pleasure. We've lost some good ones. Paul Silas, along with, there's been a run this year that's not great.
It's been quite a few, and you didn't.
Felton Spencer.
Yeah, Felton Spencer. You didn't get a chance to make it to the Legends brunch, but Thurl Bailey did a little solo as they would flash some of the people that we've lost this year that was associated with the NBA. And it was quite a few. Yeah. Including one official. Yes.
That is the wrap-up for tonight. Jazz fall to the Portland Trailblazers 127-115, and they lose to the Portland Trailblazers. We'll be back here Friday to watch the NBA's best, I think. I don't think there's any doubt right now. We're seeing the NBA's best on Friday. If you have not gotten tickets, go get them to see Giannis in person. Giannis played 24 minutes tonight. He had 31 points and 14 rebounds. And something stupid. I don't think that's right, actually. But it was something ridiculous tonight for Giannis. Jazz fall out of the Giannis tonight in 24 minutes, had 31 points and 14 rebounds. Okay, I knew I was right, but it sounded so stupid that it didn't seem it was possible. He's that good. That wraps us up.